Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. I'm Topher and I started this channel because I'm a fan of craft beer, but I'm on a limited budget, so I wanted to demonstrate it was possible to enjoy good quality beers without having to break the bank. So the beers that I review on this channel usually come in around the $2 price range, and such is the case with today's selection. I paid $2.49 for this 12-ounce can of Pfriem Pilsner. Pfriem is out of Hood River, Oregon. Trying to think, it's not Rogue. There's other Hood River brewers. I know. I didn't do my homework, and I'm sorry for that. I should have done that. But this is described. This Pilsner is described as prepare thyself for fresh scents of flowers and tart lemon zest with a touch of honey and a crisp, spicy finish. It's a 4.9 ABV, typically American or Pilsners. Shouldn't say American, but because you have to go through a whole lot of subcategories in order to find Pilsners. Usually they come in between 4.6 and 6.0. Pilsners are a lighter version of lagers. Those of you who are unaware, real quick, there's lagers and there's ales. All beers fall into one of those two categories, although it has been said that the anchor steam method of brewing has created a third variety. So, but essentially, in the great scheme of beers, the beers that you see on your shelves at the typical grocery store, those are either lagers or ales, and pilsners are a variety of lagers. Lagers are bottom fermented, and they are usually cold fermented too. This, according to Pfriem Brewing, which is owned by Pfriem family, and I will show you right here, the independent craft logo right there. That's what we're all looking for. If you follow this channel and you agree with my assessment of things, then you agree with that label. I put my faith in that logo. Not necessarily, it's just because a brewery doesn't have that logo doesn't mean it's not independent craft. But if it does have that, then I feel very confident about drinking said brewery's beers. According to the Pfriem family, Pilsners were created when let's see here, a 19th century Bohemia, created in 19th century Bohemia, when a Bavarian monk smuggled a special yeast to a Pilsen brewmaster. I don't know. I've always heard about I assumed, I know Pilsners came from the Pilsen region of Bohemia, which is now, as we know it, well, if you grew up in the 70s like I did, it was Czechoslovakia, and now it's the Czech Republic. Um, but anyway, that's from whence Pilsens came. I assumed it was native yeast and native wheat and everything else, but apparently, from what the Pfriem family says, it was a Bavarian monk who smuggled some yeast to a Pilsen brewmaster. So I don't know where said yeast came from. This particular beer uses the hops of Pearl, Sapphire, Tettnang, and Spalt Select. Uses lager yeast naturally. Has a 35 IBU, which is actually kind of high on the IBU scale for American Pilsners. Usually they come in between 18 and 25. The malts it uses are Gambrinus, Weyermann, German Pilsner, Carafoam, and acidulated. Uh, I tried this beer actually about 2 years, well, actually 2.5 years ago, and then I tried it again 2 years ago. Each time it was on tap, and each time it was at the creek. I have given this beer a 4.0. I really want to see how it's going to stack up in a can. I'm really, really interested in trying that out. The can, as I said, cost me $2.49. I don't have a brewed on, packaged on, or uh, well, enjoy by date anywhere on the can, so I'm really not sure what age I'm dealing with. Quick notes, I myself have had 3 different beers from Pfriem Brewing uh, with a cumulative score, or at an average score, excuse me, of 3.16 amongst these beers. So I've had some great ones and some on Untapped. 10 of my friends have given this a cumulative score of 3.83. 16,000 of us have given it a cumulative score of 3.72. Beer Advocate has had 198 rankings, giving it a average score of 4.02, cumulative score of 89, which on Beer Advocate's scale is very good. So there you have it, gang. That's the ins and outs of that. And I'm realizing that I'm almost 5 minutes into this and haven't even cracked this beer open, so I'm going to quit going blah, 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 and get to some drinking. I am going to be using my Pokal glass. Some of you purists out there might be looking at that and saying he thinks that's a Pokal. Here's why I think, and in fact know that it is. See how it comes in like an inverted cone? Right there. See that right, gang? It doesn't have to stop down here at the bottom in order for it to be a Pokal. Apparently, as I understand it, that little the fact that it closed down at the bottom of the cone uh, was is a new introduction to this style. This, as I get it, somebody wrote me and told me, is actually the original Pokal or Pilsner glass. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. So let's get to opening this, and I've got a hair on my can, as though we don't have enough going on with health issues. All of us being quarantined, I got a hair on my beer. Ugh. Anyway, fortunately, it was not over the part the spout that you pour from, so that's a good thing. And this is pouring exactly the color I would expect a Pilsner to pour. Very pale straw color. Frankly, I am a little surprised by, seems to be kind of so-so carbonation, considering it's a Pilsner. I mean, Pilsners are normally like boom, boom, boom. I mean, I wouldn't describe that as any more than medium high. And normally Pilsners have a lot more than that. That seems to be a This seems to be a rather hearty head. I'm not seeing a whole lot of dissipation of the foam or the bubbles or much of anything on here. I'm definitely getting a lot of that wheat smell and a lot of that lager yeast smell. I think lager yeast smells almost exactly like wheat. Pilsners, as they are sometimes, well, not sometimes, classically known, they have a sort of a sort of a sulfur aroma, but that doesn't come through in the flavor. So I'm about to give this a quick beard wipe, see what I come across. And I just still get more of that lager yeast. Okay, so I'll put my schnoz directly in. And I'm starting to get just a little hint of that sulfur now that I put my nose almost directly into the foam. So I see that I've got 7 minutes into this review, and you're probably getting really bored with this. So I'm going to start drinking. Cheers. Okay, that is everything that a Pilsner is supposed to be. It's light, it's refreshing. It's a little low on the carbonation though. I mean, I want to see if you can see this, but see that occasional bubble going up? For a Pilsner, we should still have gobs of carbonation coming out of this. I mean, this has been open for maybe 90 seconds. Anyway, but it is light, it is refreshing, it is for example, light beer from Miller, L-I-T-E, as you know it, is a Pilsner. Pilsners are lighter beers, they're not heavy beers. That's why I found the concept and the idea of the Imperial Pilsner, frankly, a little strange, because Pilsners are supposed to be light in the ABV and all of that. Like I said, this has what was the IBU count again? 35. That is very high for a Pilsner. As I said, a typical Pilsner comes in between 18 and 25. So this has a high IBU count, and it is kind of hoppy for a Pilsner, I gotta say that. But yeah, it's a good beer, and I gave it a 4.0 when it was on tap. This time I'm going to give it a 4.25 because I think the beer once again deserves a 4.0. The fact that it arrived in a can means it gets an extra 0.25. Those of you who are regulars on this channel know that of me, that I always give a beer an extra 0.25 for coming in a can. So guys, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.